13. So again, this is saying there's some number that if you multiply it by -2 and add 7 to it, you'll get -13. And we're trying to figure out what that number is. So in order to get the variable by itself, that means that I'm trying to get rid of this 7 and this -2. Again, we want to do the adding or subtracting part first. So I see +7, so I know that I want to do -7. Whatever I do on one side of the equal sign, I have to do it also on the other side. So +7 minus 7 is 0. So that leaves me with the -2x. And then -13 minus 7 is -20. So now I have -2x equals -20. So I got rid of the +7. Now I just have a one-step equation left. So I see -2 times x. So I'm going to do the opposite and divide by -2. So -2 divided by -2 is 1. So that's just going to go away because 1x is the same thing as x. And -20 divided by -2 is +10. So just like with one-step equations, I can check this answer. I can plug it in and see, is -2 times 10 plus 7 equal to -13? So that's what I'm going to check. So -2 times 10 plus 7. So follow PEMDAS, that's -20 plus 7. So do the multiplication before the addition. And -20 plus 7 is -13, which is what I wanted. So I know I got the correct answer, that x equals 10. Let's look at another one. Remember, at any point you can pause this, you can back it up and watch something again. So variables on the left side again. I'm trying to get rid of this 2 and this -3. We're going to do the adding or subtracting first. So I'm going to get rid of the -3 first by adding 3 to both sides of the equal sign. -3 plus 3 is 0. So now I have -x divided by 2 equals -11 plus 3 is -8. So now I need to get rid of this to get the x by itself. So what I see is a -2 in division. So I'm going to multiply both sides by -2. Again, remember, it doesn't matter if the negative's here or on the 2 or on the x. It all means the same thing. If there's a negative sign here, then I want to multiply with a negative, because I want these negatives to cancel each other out over here. A negative times a negative is a positive. So that leaves me with x equals +16. And again, I can check this. I'll plug it in. So I have plug in 16 for x, -3. This is just division. So 16 divided by 2 is 8, and that's negative. And then -8 minus 3 is -11, which is what I wanted it to get. So I got the right answer. X equals 16. All right, let's look at another one. So a lot of times students think that this is a one-step equation, and you'll see here in a minute why it's actually a two-step. So I need to get rid of this 4. One of the most common mistakes I see is students wanting to add 4 to get rid of this, but that minus sign belongs to the x. This is a +4. So to get rid of that +4, I want to subtract 4 from both sides. So 4 minus 4 is 0. This minus sign doesn't just disappear. That's why this is a two-step equation. So the minus sign comes down with the x. -2 minus 4 is -6. And remember, it's not written, but there's a 1 in front of that x. So really, that's -1 times x. So I see multiplication, so I'm going to do division. So I'm going to divide both sides by -1. -1 divided by -1 is just +1. And -6 divided by -1 is +6. So let's plug it in and check it. So we have 4 minus 6. 4 minus 6 is -2. So x equals 6 is the correct answer. All right. Let's go on to number 4. So I have 2/3 times x minus 4 equals -2. I'm trying to figure out what x is. I'm going to do the adding or subtracting part first. So that means I want to get rid of the minus 4 by doing plus 4. Plus 4, minus 4 plus 4 is 0. So now I have 2/3 times x equals 2. Now this is a special case. You could divide by 2/3 because this is times here. You see multiplication, so the opposite of that would be division. But the easier way to do it is to use the multiplicative inverse property that says if you take a fraction and multiply it by its reciprocal, which means just flip it over, it will always be equal to 1. So 3 times 2 is 6, 2 times 3 is 6, 6 over 6 is 1. And 1x is the same thing as just x. Don't forget, if I multiply that side by 3/2, I have to do the same thing over here. So when I multiply these straight across, 2 times 3 is 6, and 1 times 2 is 2. 6 over 2 simplifies to 3. Okay, so I added 4, then I multiplied both sides by the reciprocal of 2/3. So I can still check this. Yes, there's a fraction. Don't freak out. It's okay. 2/3 times x. X is 3. So I'm going to do times 3 over 1. And then I have that minus 4. So this would be 6 over 3 minus 4. 6 over 3 is just 2. And 2 minus 4 is -2, which is what I wanted. So I went through that kind of quick. But just remember, you can back it up and you can watch it again. All right, so now I'm going to show you something that's a little bit different. Maybe. Here we go. All right, so this one does not follow the convention of what we just got done doing. When you have a fraction like this, now this is different than what we just got done doing, right? What we just got done doing was 2/3 times x minus 4. This is 2x minus 4 over 3. So the first step in this is not to add or subtract to both sides. When you have one that's set up like this, the first step is to multiply both sides by whatever number is down here in the denominator. So if there was a negative number down here, you'd multiply by a negative. So I'm going to multiply both sides of this by 3. And the reason being is because the 3 over 3 cancels out. That makes 1. And now I'm left with 2x minus 4 equals -6. So when you have one that's set up like this, the first thing you want to do is multiply both sides by whatever number is in the denominator, and that gets it out of the denominator. And now I don't have a fraction to deal with. So this is actually a 3-step equation. Step 1 was to multiply by 3, and now I still have 2 steps left because I got to get rid of the minus 4, and I got to get rid of the 2. So I do adding or subtracting. So minus 4, I'm going to do plus 4. Do it on both sides of the equation. So 2x equals -2. Divide both sides by 2 because I see 2 times x. So x equals -1. All right, so if I check that, I have 2 times -1 minus 4 over 3. So go ahead and multiply 2 times -1. That would be -2 minus 4 over 3. -2 minus 4 is -6. And -6 divided by 3 is -2, which is what I wanted. So the correct answer is x equals -1. All right, I know this is a long video. I got one more for you. Same deal. So this time it's being divided by -4. I'm going to multiply by -4. So like I said, if this is a negative, use that. So multiply by -4. So these will cancel each other out. So then I have 3x plus 2 equals 8. -2 times -4 is +8. I see plus 2, so I'm going to do -2. -2 over here. So now I have 3x equals 6. I'm going to divide by 3. And I end up with x equals 2. Let me check that. I went through this pretty quick. You can just back it up and watch it again. So I just plugged in 2 for x. I'm going to see if this is equal to -2. So 3 times 2 is 6. So I have 6 plus 2 divided by -4. 6 plus 2 is 8. And so 8 divided by -4 is -2, which is what I wanted. So that is the correct answer, that x equals 2. All right, so I know that was long. I hope it was helpful to you. If so, please give it a like and a subscribe. And until next time.